Welcome back. You're watching Daybreak on Citizen Television. We now shift our attention to matters travel 11 days before Valentine's Day that many hold in high esteem. And with me in studio is the General Manager, Viutralvel Limited, Lemmy Mataiwua. Thanks for your time and company.
Thank you too.
For many Kenyans and many across the globe, it's a very important day that they normally hold at heart. That's Valentine, and normally plan about their traveling. What's on offer from Viutralvel Limited?
Let me just say thank you, viewers, for being with us this morning. At Viutralvel, we have a lot of deals. Being the month of love, we are doing things differently. We have very nice packages. I know it falls on a weekday, but what we are encouraging our clients and the people who love to go for the vacation of Valentine, they should take advantage of the weekend prior and weekend after. For the ones who want to go for a long stay, like in Masai Mara, 3 days, we have those deals. We have Mombasa, we have Diani, Malindi. But for the people who want to celebrate on that day, that is 14th, it is either on Tuesday, then we have staycations. We have self-drive to Naivasha, where you can just come to the office in the morning. After office, you dash to Naivasha, you celebrate your Valentine with your loved one. Then in the morning, you just check out, have breakfast, and report to work. In Nairobi, for people who don't want to drive, or maybe they don't want those long drive, they can be able to take advantage of the staycations, that is stays within Nairobi, and then they celebrate that day with their loved ones. Then you can have a staycation in the hotel, or you can just have a dinner and go back home, where you just do things differently. You know, flowers, champagne glass. You know, we have both alcoholic, non-alcoholic. So whatever you want, there is something for everybody. So it's a whole program that we have. The packages we have, they are very affordable, well discounted, and we have collected them in a way that they give you extras. You find the petals, you know, a bouquet of flowers in the room, a bottle of champagne, or an alcoholic or non-alcoholic wines in the room. You have a candlelit dinner in most of these hotels. So it's a whole cycle.
And I understand there's an option of lipa pole pole?
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter how much the money we are charging for the vacations, because for example, if the dinner is 4,000 shillings or 5,000 shillings, you can even put up 1,000, 500, whatever amount in small installments until you complete the payment. So we make it easy for people to have a celebration the way they love it and the way they can afford. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in terms of the uniqueness, what you offer as the extras, and in terms of the collaborating hotels and the accommodation, does this factor in comfort, hospitality?
Oh yeah, you see, the funny thing is Viutralvel and many hotels, we know that Kenyans love extras. Mm-hmm. And they want to, we make sure they get extras without paying an extra coin. So we have collaborated with several hotels where we are giving extras without adding extra coins on the same amount that you'll pay on a normal day, but now we throw in the romantic dinner, you know, the decoration in the room, petals, you know. There is Valentine is not complete without roses and you know, petals all over in the bed. You know, if you have a special occasion also on the same day, we can throw in something like a platter cake, you know, celebrating your maybe anniversary, if it's a wedding anniversary, if it's a birthday falling on the same time of Valentine. We can combine so many activities, but you don't pay extra. We just work around with our partners so that we give you the best experience during the period. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in terms of the self-driving, you talk about Elmantaita, Nakuru, that is, and Nanyuki, then Mount Kenya area as part of the scenery and the enjoyment which you said should embody the weekend before the actual day on the 14th of February in about 11 days' time. What do you factor in here in terms of the provision of the cars?
We have our own vehicles for people who love to travel as a group. You know, we normally have several type of travels. You can join an already existing group, especially people going to Masai Mara, and then all of you have a common goal, it's Valentine. Mm-hmm. and we normally make sure that you start your Valentine from Nairobi. We have some few the gift that we normally give before you leave for your travel, even if it's a bar of chocolate or something. It's always a surprise. We normally don't preempt it. Then for the self-drive, where you are driving yourself, that needs you to have a vehicle, then I do the bookings for the hotels, probably in Mount Kenya, Nanyuki, Elementaita, all the way to Bogoria. We also have very nice hotels in Kajiado, Machakos. Every destination have a unique property or have a unique experience that you're going to get, especially during such periods of Valentine and any other special occasion. So what is included in this is it's a whole cycle. We have meals on full board. Yeah, I'm sure many people know what's full board. Full board is 3 meals a day. That's breakfast, dinner, and leisure, and lunch. Yeah? So this means you have all the meals. But also some hotels, especially in the coast, they sweeten it. They come with a meal plan called all-inclusive. An all-inclusive meal plan is where you have all the meals, and they throw in drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. So if you want to go and to such type of hotel, you reach there, you check in your hotel, you put your wallet in the safe. You'll just look at your wallet when you're coming back to Nairobi, because everything is catered for.
And when you talk about this, because it all involves travel and the self-drive, but what safety protocols have you laid in place? Because in many instances we have had an increase or a cropping up in the cases of road accidents, for example. But what are your safety standards in terms of your protocols?
When it comes to using the tour vehicles, for example, the Land Cruisers, the vans, the Rosas, our drivers are highly trained, and we follow the guidelines of NTSA to the letter. And all our vehicles are well inspected, they are roadworthy, and the drivers are, above all, they are so highly trained in tourism. There is a difference between the tour driver and the normal driver, maybe taxi or the other drivers of public vehicles. Our drivers go through rigorous training. They first of all go to school. That we have colleges like Utali, which they normally train guys. We have so many other tertiary colleges that train guys to do guiding. That's why they are called tour guide cam driver or stroke drivers. So they are highly qualified. They know the speed to use is what, and all PSV in Kenya, they are 80 kilometers. So that's a manageable speed. And also the vehicles are inspected every year, and they are fitted with the inspection stickers. Then we have our own internal agreement with all our tour driver guides that the safety and on the road for our client is number one. Number two, just in case there is something bad that can happen, God forbid, we normally have travel insurance. This travel insurance, we encourage clients to book them. It is not only for international, because many people think only international you want a travel insurance. Okay. You want a travel insurance when you're going to Mara. You want a travel insurance when you're going to some places like Samburu, or even around in hotels that you do self-drive. The reason of this travel insurance is to make sure when you're on that safari, you're taken care of. In case you need to be evacuated, in case you need to be compensated, it is easy for you to be compensated. Okay,
before I come to the travel industry at large and the disruption that in many often circumstances unanticipated. When you talk about this entire plan with regards to the traveling, the accommodation, the hospitality, the food, is it solely for the domestic consumers or international?
We deal with both international and local, but as Viutralvel, we have a theme that we are running with a government agency like KTB, which we call You Deserve a Holiday. With such kind of arrangement, we are trying to push more Kenyans to travel within Kenya, and also as now a company, Viutralvel, we are pushing Kenyans to travel out of the country. Reason is during COVID we learned a lot because we were over dependent of the inbound tourism. Yeah. But we realize we have a huge chunk of local tourists who they just need information, good packages, and then they can be able to drive the agenda of travel. So our clientele mostly, especially during such things like the Valentines, it's the domestic market, okay, which is the key market that we are making sure that we capture, and we drive them to uptake the various experiences and the various products that we have in Kenya. Then we have the inbound. There are people who love to come and celebrate their Valentine in Kenya. It's an achievement to them, maybe from other countries like European, US, and also our neighboring countries, Tanzania, Uganda. You see, somewhere like Uganda, they don't have a good beach, so they love to come to Kenyan coast. It's one of that's a dream trip to them. So we don't have boundaries on who will enjoy the product. But when they come, we give them according to what they want. We tailor-make even some to the satisfaction of anybody. We even have deals that we are already packaging for helicopter rides, okay, where you take a helicopter, go enjoy a lunch in Masai Mara. It's a Valentine Day. Okay. Then in the evening you come back. So there is a lot that we are doing for the Viutralvel Valentine clients.
Okay, but before I go to the disruption that you talk about, and that was as a result of the pandemic which got the world unprepared, and the consequences thereafter of lively cities shutting down. Rome wasn't as it was known, so is Mecca, which is a pilgrimage city, or Jerusalem, or in London, the financial capital of the world, or Washington, or New York. But in tapping the domestic market, as part of emboldening also the country's tourism sector, with regards to Kenyans going and seeing the sceneries across the country. How significant is this in terms of income generation for the country and a general economic growth?
The moment we realized the potential of the local market, our fortunes, especially in tourism, increased, because the international market is seasonal. They can come here for migration, which is in June, July, August, then they go. They can come here in December, November, January, February, because it is winter in their countries. But right now, when you have the domestic market, it's throughout the year. And it even gets more vibrant during the school holidays, because parents want to treat their kids. When it is public holidays, it is also very vibrant. I'm sure you saw during the Christmas period, somewhere like Kenyatta Beach in Mombasa was like a political rally, because Kenyans love traveling, but they are a bit reserved if they don't have the information. And that is what we are doing to make sure that we give the information, and in the long run, it is going to boost our economy, especially in terms of domestic revenue, and also in terms of earning us dollar from the international market. And from what we have right now is that the domestic and the international market, they are running hand in hand in terms of generating revenue, because the domestic is throughout the year. The inbound, that is the international tourist, is seasonal, so it makes it a bit not consistent like the domestic market.
And then how dynamic are you? This was the question on the unpredictability of the global market. And the COVID-19 pandemic came, disrupted, and especially significantly affected the tourism sector in the country. We have seen the effect it has had in terms of job losses and layoffs by hotels, especially across the Kenyan coast, and otherwise also in major cities like Nairobi. Then how prepared are you for your future plans as to an unpredictable world where anything can happen? And is that an element of dynamism that you are considering?
Yeah, I can say with the COVID coming in, we really learned a lot of things, and that's why we decided to embrace domestic market, because you find that even if there is a pandemic, unless there is restriction of movement or there is a total closure of business, which is occasioned by the pandemic or any other calamity, then we don't have a problem with pushing the agenda of travel, because Kenyans will always travel. There is no flight that leaves Jomo Kenyatta or Wilson empty, and they fly daily. So what we just need is to eat the chunk of that business. We have vehicles on the road going to Mombasa, going to any destination of the country. We need to convert that to be part of the people who are touring our country. Also, we have SGR. It's always full. That means not everybody is going for business, but also you have people who mix both business and leisure, which is one of the key market. So preparedness is a must, and how you prepare. You know, when there is calamity, you don't know what is the next calamity. That is a tragedy, because you cannot be able to prepare for something that you don't know what will come. We never knew about COVID. You never knew one day we'll shut down. We never knew that one time we'll have to have a total lockdown where you cannot get out of Nairobi.
Yeah, no flights in and
no, yeah. So some of these things, like calamity like that one, it is something that you cannot foresee and plan for it. But after the COVID, we realized that, and when we stayed with COVID for some time, we started to realize that we can do some operation, but with very limited people inside, maybe a space that used to take up to 100, 300 people. Yeah. Now it was taking around 50. So we just invented ways of keep going, but at the same time we keep safe. So I can say that in terms of such calamities, which like disease, it's not very much predictable, but other calamities, of course, there is always mitigation plan that we normally do. And those are case by case. And one of it is when there is like international eruptions, like the way the Russia and Ukraine is. Okay. You see that's also a huge market for Kenyan tourism. So we know it is eating some business out of because of the stuff that is going there. But now we have the domestic, which we are sure of. Yeah. Whether there is anything, whether it is an election day, whether it is a school opening day, guys are still traveling.
Okay, and banking on the same, what is also by extension an amplification of the expanding the scope of the country's domestic tourism sector. But how has been the recovery as an industry since the pandemic struck?
The recovery has been very steady and very fast, and this has been occasioned by the fact that we are partnering with many agencies to make sure that we move the agenda of travel. One of it is the government agency like Magical Kenya, the KTB. Also, we have hotels which have given us very discounted rates, especially with Viutralvel. We have the best rates that you can get in market, and then from there we have people like the airlines, which have increased more frequency. So we think that with the way that people had that hunger and that urge to travel, it has become very easy also to push for good discounts. You see, Kenyans love discounts. Okay. They love good prices. So if you give Kenyans good rates, discounted, you know, they have value for their money, and that is the key thing and the key driver of your travel. We make sure that you get the maximum value out of your coin, then Kenyans will travel.
But let me even ask you, plan on the discounts and the promotions. You're going to be telling us how, for those who are willing, will be able to reach out to Viutralvel, which is powered by Citizen Television. Yeah. Even as you do that and go about that planning, how then do you ensure that you don't compromise on quality, for example, on hospitality and also on food?
So being around in this arena of travel, we have done a lot of research on things. For example, when we started introducing the all-inclusive meal plan, it was a tall order because you have to give guys meals, you have to give guys drinks, and at the same time, you don't want those guys to complain they have stomach upsets, they have headache or anything. So with the help of the hotels, because predominantly this is the hotels that will now give us the direction and the way that we are going to make sure that we have the best meal, we have the best cuisines in their hotels. So the hotels have come up with ways that they have like 5 restaurants in a whole hotel. So when you walk there, you can go and have an a la carte, you can have a buffet, you can have seafood, you can have steaks. So this ensures that you have a lot of varieties, and in the long run, it also brings the cost down. Then we have this mass market. And there is something we call economy of scale, where the larger the group, the lower the budget, because they distribute the cost across the board. So because of the large number of people that are going to these hotels, they're able to manage their budgets without compromising the quality. Also, we have many hotels that are impressing the local suppliers. For example, in terms of meals that can be, or ingredients that can be easily found within the locality. So that makes it easy, because you don't have to transport food from Nairobi and you're in Mombasa. So you just embrace what you can get in the local area, and in the same time you help the local community with the economic activities there.
And of course, because of the cash flow and circulation, which ends up in their pockets. However, when you have talked about the domestic market, and you are heavily reliant on that, which by extension helps in terms of the extension of the domestic market and its relevance on the growth of the tourism sector. But there are seasonal changes, of course, and when we have the ravaging winter, for example, in parts of Northern Europe and in Northern America, many of them opt for the period now we are in of January to March, where it's hot, according to the department that looks into the weather, that is the Met Department. Towards the end of the last week of March is when the sun will be crossing over to the Capricorn from the equator, therefore informing the abnormal temperature increases across the country. Is this also a time that you focus on the international tourists who want, of course, the sunny beaches along the Kenyan coast and otherwise across other destinations in the country?
Ideally, that is correct, because these guys from the East, from European, from Asia, is part of Asia and US, they will always run away from cold. And that is why you find like the tropical islands, that is Maldives, Zanzibar, all the way to Seychelles, Mauritius, they are full, because guys want that warm weather. And also here, as Viutralvel and in Kenya, we push those people to go to the coast. And you'll find there is a high influx of tourists coming in so that they can escape the cold. In fact, even Kenyans themselves, we call them Sanibani during November, but they come all the way and they go back in February when the winter is now subsiding or it's going down. So we capitalize on that a lot, and we also talk to hotels so that they give us the best deals for also the international clients. We want to market Kenya as an affordable destination, and a destination that you can get the best experience without paying exorbitant price. So these are things that inform how we do our packages. And the good thing with our packages is it's a one-stop shop. You get a flight, you get a hotel, you get a transfer, and also if you wish to go for cultural visit, we give you some cultural visit to Maasai villages. If you're in coast, we give you the Giriama villages. It's a whole cycle. If you want adventure, we have walk-in safaris in Mara. If you want more adventure and you don't want to be in Dubai, we give you Chalbi and you feel like you're in Dubai for the desert safari. So it's a whole cycle of activities. And as you mentioned earlier, I think it's good also for people who have questions now or they want to talk to us to understand how they can talk to us, because yes, there is Viutralvel, but probably people don't know where we are. We'll
be coming to that. And because I want an understanding, and so our viewers, on as a player and as a stakeholder, how you deem yourself or your role in the advancing of the country as a global tourist destination, because you still bear, despite being a private entity, that is, you still bear responsibility on the other end on the flip side of the divide, which is to still market Kenya as a destination hub for many who are willing to come and, of course, stay here.
You see, Viutralvel being one of the leading travel agents and travel planners in Kenya, our core duty is to help in making sure that we get revenue to the government, to ourselves, because it's equal employment partner, so that we can be able to give some of the Kenyans jobs to do. So our focus is to push the word out there so that we can have more business coming, and more business means more money. So we are putting out a lot of adverts. We are on social media, so we try to showcase different type of products that we are selling. For example, right now if you go to our social media in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we have a lot of Valentine deals going on. Easter also we are doing, because you need to plan early. And for Lipa Pole Pole to work, you need to give the packages early. And that is one of the strengths of Viutralvel. We are able to give you rates for up to December. So if you want to travel in September, October, you start paying in bits until you finish the payment. So while doing that, the money circulates, and we keep on improving on in terms of pumping more money in the economy, and also in supporting the business. It's a trickle-down thing where you pay for a travel, but you're assisting a hotel, you're assisting an airline, you're assisting the guys who does transfers, and the effect is felt across the board. Okay, the ripple effect. The final question on how the access in terms of maybe Kenyans or otherwise international clients who are willing to engage, but they need the avenue to which they need an understanding and reaching out. So what are your platforms and how can they reach you?
We have several platforms. Number one, about Viutralvel, we are a hybrid travel agent where we are both online and offline. So in terms of offline, offline is where you can call us. Our number is 0703-254-254. Very easy. And there is the online where you go to our platform and book and pay there. So we want to make it easy for Kenyans. If you don't want to call us, you just go to our platform, book and pay your holiday. If you want to go and check out our deals, you can do it on Instagram. We are very vibrant there. Our handles is at Viutralvel Limited across the board. And then we have the Facebook, which is very busy also, and Twitter. So all these platforms, we can always get our deals, and we always have deals. We have flash sales. Like right now, if they go to those platforms, we have very nice deals which they are capped up to some period of time. For the international traveler, we normally also have the website where they can also check out our deals. We have our email address, connect@viutralvel.com. So, and the most important part is the team that is at the office who are waiting for you to give you the quotation, to give you more information about a particular package. They also even do a meet and greet. They can come even to your office and discuss your package, and there you don't need to come to our office. But if you want to come to our office, we have two offices. We have one office at Westland Office Park, and we have our new baby, a new branch at TRM Mall on Thika Road. So anybody who is along Thika Road, they can pop in our office at TRM second floor and talk to any of our tour consultants who will be able to help them with any package that they want to take.
Lemmy or Mataiwua, thank you for your time and company and expounding more on for those who are willing to travel, and 11 days to a day that they deem fit and important for this and the specifications you have offered. Many thanks for your time and company. He is the General Manager, Viutralvel Limited, here on Daybreak. And thank you for making time on the broadcast here on Daybreak since 6 a.m. And as we discussed the state of gender parity in the country, the quest ever since the 2012 Supreme Court advisory to the National Assembly. And we thank you for your contributions here on the broadcast. And we'll see you next week by the grace of God on Wednesday. Till then, good morning.